Hey everyone, and welcome back to another Digital Gate Studios production. Jesse, we've got another deck that just won't die.
This deck will never die. It's only gotten more fun to play. Maybe not play against, but it's gotten a lot of fun to play. I've had good success with it.
Depends on your perspective, I
That is
suppose.
true. It is not something I play all the time, but it's something I do weave into my my play set. And eventually, sometimes I'll go on 2 and 3 weeks streaks of playing it, just because I like to tweak a couple cards. But I think I got a list that I really like. I've been messing with it for a few weeks now, and it's really fun, a little bit different, and we'll dive into it. So we are playing Security Control. So there are a few common stays in this list. One is we are playing Vixies. I know this has changed up a little bit lately in some people's list.
Some people are playing the Tokomon.
Tokomon, which is Recover Draw 1.
When a card is added to security.
Yeah. So this one I still like. It's still there for me because we do play a lot of options in this deck. Not all of them super expensive. This just makes the draw more worthwhile. Not much to say about that or this card. We are playing 4 Solomons. Once again, some people are playing the new Harrismon, or I guess not the new one, but the security Harrismon. That pops out of security and you sec -1 something.
Yep.
This one I still find situational. I'm old school. I do like to recover. I love having this as a Hellscythe target if my Magna is not in my trash.
Yep.
It is nice to have a little backup security recovery. Speaking of that, we do play the Magnas. Love this card.
The only thing to talk about is which art to play.
I really like the double pack art. It's got a really nice texture to it. You got the regular alt art. You have
And the gold.
and RB1.
And the RB1 as well.
So you have 5 different options. This is the newest one, so it strikes my fancy. Next security profile video, maybe I'll switch it.
We'll see.
We'll see. New card for the deck. Diving right into it.
This was sort of the whole inspiration for the new direction, basically.
It was, yeah. So this kind of went along really well with what I want to do. If you've seen the thumbnail, I'm splashing in a little bit of red. And I was looking at it, playing some of the yellow-red tamers. Good way to activate your cards, but I was looking for just another one to have on my person if I need to, and I came across a BT14 card that I really, really like. Because a big problem with security control decks is, I don't know, it depends on your locals, but you'll end up going to time sometimes against newer players. You'll hard play Magna for 7, add a security, and then they have 4 decisions to make instead of 2 or 1.
Yeah, it's not obvious.
It's not a fast game to play. So to speed it up, I really want to kill my opponent, not necessarily deck them out. Because if you're going to deck them out, you pretty much have to deck them out both games in a row.
Yes, or else it's going to be a 1-1 draw.
It's going to be a 1-1 draw. So I was like, how can I add Digimon? Because every time I add Digimon to a security control deck, this guy gives me a hard time. So because it does slow down the consistency of the deck. It slows down
you want them to hit you and then have the repercussions of that.
It slows down the lethality of the deck.
Correct.
So I really like the new Goldramon. You don't know what this card does. It's on play and when digivolving. You know me, I'm a Dioboromon fan. This is the latest and greatest token card we have. It creates 2 tokens. It creates Umon and Amon of the Crimson Flame and of the Blue Thunder.
Yes.
So you digivolve this for 4 or on play, which is very important because sometimes that does come up. Creates a blocker and a Digimon with Rush. So really, really cool. We do end up getting into this more than you would think. And when you digivolve over it, or if it would be removed from play, you get to recover 1 if you have either of these still on the board. If they can manage to get rid of both of these by Crimson Blaze or something like that, you won't get that recovery, but a lot of times we're digivolving over this. So you'll kind of use the blocker for your next turn. You may or may not swing with this. You might swing over a rookie or something, and then we're going to be digivolving on top of this and still recovering and losing our tokens. But it's really good. It's a good way to add Digimon to the deck without diluting your options.
Yeah. Well, I was very skeptical of this card at first because I think the yellow level 6 options are incredibly strong.
Yeah, Shadow
Venusmon,
Seraphi.
Shadow Seraphi, even the new Seraphimon is very strong. The interesting thing about this is you're playing against decks that most of the time don't recover. So, you get your 1 chip damage with the Magna Anja, your 1 chip damage with the Salamon, and they're at 3.
Yeah.
And then you promote a rookie. You stuck a Magna Angemon. You swing, you Goldramon. You have a rush. You swing again. You can threaten lethal from a lot of surprising angles with this card.
Yeah, my favorite part of it too is if a lot of decks just won't have a way to deal with all three of the bodies. And on the next turn, they have 3 security coming out.
Yeah.
And you're just like, you're ahead of the game already.
Yeah. And you have 7 security because obviously.
And it pairs really well with the Tamer we're going to get into here in a little bit. But what do we Digivolve on top of this? Well, I think probably the best level 7 in yellow.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's Shangri Ruin mode. This card is insane. When you Digivolve over the Goldramon, 9 times out of 10, you're going to be recovering when you Digivolve, which is really nice. Also, you're going to put down the 5k blanket. On your next turn, you're going to swing with it, lay another one down,
a lot of decks,
and recover 1 more. So these kind of all synergize and do the same thing, which is give you HP and reduce theirs.
As well as you can swing with the rush token and leave the blocker token.
And still get the...
If they don't out the blocker token and you Evo the Ruin mode, you still recover 1. You don't need to delete both of your tokens to recover.
Right. Now, kind of a card, and don't get mad, there's 3 of these, but we're playing 3 Death X. I know that these are expensive. I know. These are cards that I shuffle between many, many decks. If you don't have these or you can't afford them, that's fine. There's different options. A lot of options we're playing 3 of. You can easily just go up to 4.
Yeah, you could go to 4 Shangri Ruin mode and make a budget version of the deck.
Even more budget version. Yeah, absolutely. Death X, it's an amazing card. And if you don't know what it does, welcome to the game. It must be your first week playing.
Thank you for subscribing to the channel.
You'll see this at your locals for sure, and you'll learn you'll learn week 1 what this card does probably. It's a 3 of in the deck because it is security control. You only use it as options. You cannot Digivolve with this card in this deck. So that was kind of the concession with losing the Shadow Seraphi and going into the Goldramon. You do lose the Digivolve option, but it seems just fine. Now for the new Tamer in the deck, because my inspiration for this deck was to kill D-Brigade because I hate D-Brigade. So I wanted to figure out how to put Crimson Blaze in security control. And so I was looking through some of the options, and I've always been kind of back and forth about that TK Ankari. I was like, I like it, but it seems kind of counterproductive in the fact that I like to recover a lot.
Right.
I like to have a ton of security. It doesn't always help me with the minus DP swing, whatever. But I really, really thought that this was kind of a good synergy with the deck and being aggressive. And that is playing 4 of the Tai Ankari just to keep our red source consistent. I really like the memory gain off this almost better than the TK Ankari because you are going to be doing at least 2 pieces of chip damage per game pretty quickly off the bat.
Yeah. It's a more aggressive version of security control.
Yeah. So the way I look at it, most of the time, if you're playing a Magna for 7 turn 1, they're going to use that memory to set up, not necessarily attack you.
Correct.
So you can usually get 1 or 2 chip damage, and then all of a sudden, all these Tai Ankaris give you at least 1 memory per turn. And if they do get you down to 3, you get a ton more. So it's really nice. It's not quite as threatening or make your opponent think too much like the TK Ankari does, but I really like this card in the deck. And like I said, we're trying to activate red, so it kind of scratches a lot of itches. We still run 4 of the Kari from BT4.
Gotta keep it in.
Gotta keep it in. Slows your opponent down like crazy. If you can get all 4 of these out, you can give them 3 all day. In 1 time. Who cares?
Doesn't matter.
Really good. It's like Ice Wall and a Tamer, kind of.
Yeah. Half of an Ice Wall.
However you want to look at it. We still run 3 Mimis.
I've been seeing people go down on this card.
I like this card a lot just because the Crimson Blaze can net you memory
it's true.
with it, which is really nice. Also, we are playing 1. We'll get to it. We are playing 1 Calling from the Darkness. I really like being able to calling and gain memory. I think that's really fun. It's a really good way to kind of get things rolling. But yeah, I still like the Mimi. I know that there are a couple cards you can go away from, but that's it for Tamers. I don't play any setters.
Oh, interesting.
We went up on colors, so we don't play the TK because the TK is dangerous. It can whiff, and it can kill you if it's your second to last security.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just I really find that this will gain you a lot of memory.
It's more than enough.
Yeah, it's plenty. Let's get into some options. We are a security control deck. We have yellow and purple, so we are playing 4 Chaos Degrades. I mean, we're not getting away from that. That card is insane. I've learned over the ages that this card is probably the best option in security control because there's still the least amount of ways to deal with it in the game.
More than ever, but still not enough.
Yeah. Now we play another 4 of the oldie but a goodie, 4 of the Flame Hellscythe. This card just recurs your Magnas, recurs your Salamons. It's really good. I don't know what else there is to say about it. We do play plenty of purple sources, so we do consistently have the color requirements for this, so it's not too terrible.
Yep.
We still play 4 of the Holy Waves. Still a great card. It's a nice, pass turn. If you don't have anything to play, just play Holy Wave. Make them deal with another security.
Mm-hmm.
I like it because it just pairs well with the Vixie. It pairs well with, the Mimis. Being able to do it for 3 is really good.
Yep.
Not much
normal security control stuff.
Yeah. And we do play 3 Lonks. So the Lonks, something you can go up on if you don't have another Death X or if you want to, mess with your ratios.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really good card. Once again, really benefits for 3 security in particular. It's just kind of like a mixture between a Wyverns and a Chaos Degrade. You get to do both if you're at 3 security, which is really, really good. Super cool. Okay, let's get into some new cards. We play 3 Crimson Blaze.
Mm-hmm.
This card is excessively good in this format, particularly for the Blooms, the D-Brigades, the Jesmons, Lugarmons, anything that plays by effects and has small bodies. It's also crazy that it just reduces itself by however many Digimon your opponent has on the field. So you can get this
like you said,
cheap.
this is going to be a zero cost option a lot of times, sometimes a +1.
Yeah. So it's a really good card. This is kind of the card that I really wanted to put in the deck. That's kind of my inspiration for going red in the deck was Crimson Blaze. Like, how do I fit that in? And then there was a regional or something we saw that played
EU Nats.
Yeah, EU Nats. We saw a list that played Trident Gaia, and I was like,
oh yeah,
what is this card
Get
doing
me in
again?
there.
We looked at it, and I was like, I'm pretty sure this is the only option in the game that'll trash your opponent's security on their turn.
Think so?
I really think if there's another one, let me know in the comments. But this card's really good from people that like Wargrays, Quartzmon, Alphamon's coming back a little bit. We're starting to see in the format. Really good.
Things are rarely attacking at 12k at level 6.
Yeah. So a lot of options that say trash your opponent's security. You look at their security effect, and it's just kill the lowest DP, kill the highest DP.
No, activate main.
This is activate main. So it really screws with your opponent's math, as well as it pairs really, really well with the Taiankari. Because a lot of the times, I mean, if you don't have the Goldramon and you can't get that chip damage down, it is really nice for them to hit that as a surprise out of security, and then all of a sudden they're going to pass turn, and you're going to gain way more memory than they expected. So throws off math. It's really good. I like it a lot. Yeah. And then we got some 1-ofs. We play 1 Reinforcing because it is
for
restricted. Why not play it? Pairs really well with the Mimi, obviously. Recovers. Yeah. It's really fun. Really fun now that we have these red cards to put on top. So it's really fun to put a Crimson Blaze on top and watch a D-Brigade player go, shit.
Yeah, what am I going to do now?
What am I going to do? Also good if Trident Gaia, if you play it and they have like a Quartzmon and you put one of those on top.
Put a Salamon to hand, put a kill spell to security. What more could you ask for?
What are you going to do? And then we do play the 1 Calling from the Darkness. This card is really good in the deck. It is also restricted, so we play it. It's really good because you can net memory with the Mimis. You don't have to delete anything. There's a lot of times security control players just don't have anything on the board.
Yep.
And if you want to grab a Death X if they hit in security because you haven't drawn one yet, you can grab 2.
Get your Death X, get your Ruin Mode, and move on.
And boogie. It's also worth noting that you can calling your Goldramon and recover one if you want to.
This is true.
So this is the deck, guys. This is my my annoying red, yellow, purple security control deck that it's more consistent than I thought it was going to be. I think this is far more consistent than the black, yellow, purple security control that I was messing with before Nats.
Yeah, this one
or before regionals.
This is another list that surprised me. I was too skeptical of the red. How are you gonna have sources for that? But obviously, the Crimson Blaze is a card that's amazing. The format. Trident Gaia is a card that has surprised me immensely. So I think this is a smart way to go about it.
All right. Well, thank you guys. Feel free to join us in the next deck profile video. We have tons of them coming out. We have a weekly podcast called Two Tamers Talk every Friday at 8 a.m. Feel free to join us. And yeah, we'll catch you guys in the next one.